Hi, everybody. My name is Valentina, and this is the Spotlight Podcast, a place where I bring personal life experiences along with independent studies and research that I do. I tell you all about what I've been doing, what I've been studying, and what I think it's been working or I think it will work. And as I share all of these informations, I hope it helps somebody. So it's kind of like a personal diary that anybody can look at. So yeah, let's do it. Today, I want to do like a part 2 to the last episode that I did, which was on the subconscious mind. I've gotten new information that I'm really excited to share, and so I wanted to divide this in 3 parts. First one, it's kind of just like sharing the tools that I've gathered that I've really enjoyed putting into practice, or that I thought it just sounded so cool and so interesting and I want to share. That's the first part. The second part, I'm going to tell you guys about a dream that I had that explains to the T everything that I was talking about in the other episode. And I love that happened to me. It was so intense. But I love that it happened to me because it truly proved the point that I was trying to make. And the third part, I'm going to kind of get into the pseudoscience versus actual science and all of that good stuff. So first of all, tools. I've been doing a lot of neuroscience researches, watching a lot of videos on it. I read a lot of studies from experts in the field, psychological field, neuroscience field, medicine, and I want to bring a couple of the things that I've been applying to my day-to-day life and that has been making a difference. So the first thing I want to share is from Huberman's research. He's a professor at Stanford for neurobiology, I think. And on social media, we get a lot of information on what to do, but not how to do it, or how to pursue, or how to go about doing it. And one thing that he studied and he came to light with is that first we change our habits, then we change our thoughts, and then we change our feelings about anything. And I think that's really important because with the whole positive affirmation, which I do think works, but with the whole positive affirmation, positive dialogue, things that we hear out there, influencers talking about that, or a lot of spiritual people talking about that too. It works, but if we don't use it in the right way, and if we don't do anything else with it, it won't. And I've tried this many times before. A while ago, when I was feeling really low and really stuck, kind of like just paralyzed in my own life, career-wise. Anyway, I didn't think I was growing, and I thought I didn't know how to. I started listening to certain positive affirmation meditations for sleeping and for waking up, and they were really cool, and I think they did have a little bit of impact, but not at all as much as it has been the past few months. Because before, okay, I'm listening to kind words, I'm kind of mentally repeating them to myself, but I'm not doing anything else, so I don't truly believe it, because I'm still feeling the same anxiousness, I'm still feeling the same paralysis. I'm still feeling the same stuckness and anxiety with this feeling and this overwhelming feeling. And so when I heard him talk about changing habits first, it made a lot of sense, because we take such a passive action to change sometimes. And I think that kind of action is really passive, you know? Oh, I'll just change my thoughts and I'll manifest anything that I want. It doesn't work like that, you know? I think neuroscientifically it doesn't work like that, because we have neuroplasticity, and just by changing our thoughts, if we don't have anything to prove those thoughts right, it doesn't create any new plasticity for our neurons to grow a new neural pathway. You know what I mean? So, for example, working out. I wasn't feeling good with my body, and not because it needs to look any certain way, but because I wasn't healthy. I wasn't moving it, I wasn't strengthening it, I wasn't being flexible, and I didn't feel good. I didn't feel good about how it looked. I didn't feel good about how I looked and how I felt. And just telling myself, oh, I love how my body looks. I love how I look. I love how my body feels. Didn't change anything about my body, and didn't change anything about how I felt about my body. But as soon as I started saying that to myself and acting on it, going to the gym, the saying to myself could potentially give me more motivation to keep going to the gym, keep going for a run, keep going strength training, whatever. And those two in conjunction to one another are what consequently changed my feelings towards the subject. So, and this applies to anything. Another thing I will talk about, this is truly like a diary. I'm exposing myself. Another thing I'll talk about. The past couple of years of my life, I studied art in college, and it was really cool for me because I'm from Brazil. I was a very artistic kid since I was like born. I don't know. I was always doing something creative, drawing, singing, performing, making my sister do dance choreographies with me, making jewelry. I made this stuff. So I've always been a very creative person, but in Brazil it's not that valued, or that people don't have so much of an incentive to do it, you know? Even at school, I think after 6th grade, art class became art history class. So it was history. We were studying about art. We weren't creating art. So as soon as I got to the US and I had this beautiful campus with beautiful art studios of as many classes in as many different areas of art that you could possibly think of, and these crazy machines, I was in love. And I was kind of like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to get into. And it was lovely. And so I did art, but I was also in California, college, doing my own thing, working, you know, partying. And so I kind of lost track a little bit, and I used to be always a straight A student, kind of. I graduated high school with a 4.0 GPA, I think, or a 3.9 GPA. And I was just failing a lot of classes in college, even the art classes that I loved so much. And so I kind of created this belief in myself that something happened in my life and I'm not smart anymore. I'm not intelligent. I think I'm just really, really average or below average. And I don't have the capacity to be smart. I think it was just a thing of me as a kid. And as soon as I grew up into an adult, it went away. So that had a lot of negative consequences, in my confidence, and confidence about career, confidence about, in comparison to friends and colleagues and, work. And it was really tough for the past few years. And as soon as I started taking this Harvard X micro bachelor's course. It's a 5-month course on neuroscience, introduction to neuroscience, and it's so hard. It's so hard. It's, oh my God, equations with letters, only letters, no numbers, that I've never seen before. And in the beginning, and till now, but especially in the beginning, I was struggling so much because I was like having this dialogue with myself about, what the fuck am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I doing this to myself? I'm not smart enough for this. I'm not built for science. I'm an artist. But by doing it and by also implementing the positive talk, the positive affirmations, and the positive dialogue with myself, and not only implementing the positive dialogue, but also letting go of the negative. And not by running away or pretending that I didn't think that, but by confronting it and not extending it. So I would think that, and as soon as I could catch myself, I'll be like, wait. These are thoughts I no longer have. They no longer associate with me. I am capable and I am smart enough to do it, doing it at my own time. And with both those, the action and the thought process change, or the self-dialogue change, I started feeling so much better about myself, so much more confident, and kind of changed the dynamics about how I thought about myself in regards to being smart, which led me to another study, which is the growth mindset, from a study, I think it's from Carol Dweck. I don't know if I'm saying it right. She's also a professor at Stanford Psychology. And she does these studies on kids, but it applies to everybody, which is exactly a study about how kids believe about intelligence, what are their beliefs in intelligence, and how that affects their learning. And if they have such a square and fixed belief, usually they don't get out of that belief. They don't spread out too far. And if they do have a belief that they can learn anything, and with the motivation and with the hard work, they will actually be able to grow and expand their intelligence on anything. And they actually do. So yeah, learning those two things made me really excited, because I think with society, we do tend to put ourselves in boxes, and we forget that we have this crazy machine inside of our heads that we haven't even begun to explore. So yeah, for myself, I'm feeling a lot more confident lately, both with changing my forcing myself to change my habits, And that's also one thing that Huberman talks about. Whenever you do consistent change in hard tasks tasks that are challenging, both physically and mentally, you get dopamine rushes which make you want to do them more often if they're hard. So yeah, first tool set, change first, then your thoughts. I think thoughts can go along kind of side by side, and the more you change your habits, the more your thoughts will change along with it, and then your feelings will kind of walk side by side with the whole thing. So yeah, that's the first tool set. The second one is, oh, I love this one. So Jim Doty's study on neuroscience, he's a neurosurgeon at Stanford also. I'm obsessed with Stanford. He talks about manifestation. And that's why I wanted to bring the pseudoscience and the science topic, because I think manifestation is lovely, but there's so much misinformation out there. And I don't necessarily want to say that pseudoscience is bad, because I love spirituality. I'm a really spiritual person. But I think a lot of people take advantage of what they learn from spirituality and science topics and tools such as manifestation, and they don't truly talk about it in the right way. So a lot of people get confused and they don't think it works. So he was talking about to change your belief about something, and to change your thought, and to change your dialogue with yourself, and consequently manifest anything that you want, is through engaging all of your senses into this new thing. Because by engaging all of our senses, we kind of give speed up the process of the neural connections to create new neural pathways. So, for example, as soon as you wake up, you do your sleep meditation, you sleep, you wake up, you do a little bit of breath work to connect with the body, connect to your whole senses. Then you do your morning meditation. I like to put on a pre-existing meditation with positive affirmations. Then I say to myself the positive affirmations. Then writing down the affirmations, and then reading them out loud to yourself afterwards. It's a lot of steps, but I think it's totally worth it, because why not? Literally, why not? Why not have a chance to change, to become anything that you want, and to have a dialogue with yourself about anything that you actually would truly desire to have, instead of the old ones. For example, oh, I'm not smart enough. No, I don't want to talk like that to myself for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? So why not give a shot to change? And so, yeah, in the last episode I talk about the brainwaves. So during the morning, early morning, and during the night are really good times to do these little sets of exercises. Breathing for a little bit, for a minute. Deep breaths, connect to yourself, connect to your body. Listen to a meditation if you'd like. Then think to yourself What are the new thoughts that you want to have be a part of your life? For example, I breathe, I listen to positive affirmations by a pre-recorded meditation, and I think to myself, I love myself, I'm smart, I'm capable, I love my body, I love my life, I love my house, I'm thankful, because gratitude is also a big one, big time thing. And also it's in many studies saying that the more grateful we are for what we have, the bigger our will to live grows, you know? So I'm grateful, thank you. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my bed. Anyway, saying all the things that I want to have it be part of my life. Then I write them down. I have in my journal like really extensive, not even paragraphs, just commas. Just writing. I love myself. I love my body. I love how healthy my body is. I love how my body heals so quickly and naturally and perfectly. I love my dog. I love my family. I love my relationships. I have such great relationships. I can communicate with my loved ones really well. I have patience. I love my job, you know? Writing them down and then reading those things out loud, because then you're engaging your hearing sense, your breath, which connects to your whole body. Writing and reading, so seeing, and thought. So that's a whole little step-by-step process that you can do both in the morning and in the night, or either or, you know, if you feel like twice it's too much. And throughout the day, of course, like I said before, if you have any negative thoughts, don't run away from them, and don't be scared, or don't push them down, or don't panic. Just say to yourself, I no longer associate with this kind of thoughts, and now I think like this. And then you change it for a positive one. And slowly but surely, your mind is going to start to change, and your way to view these negative thoughts and your way to behave, it's going to change. And consequently, your feelings. So yeah, I think doing these tools are a really good way to start changing your habits. Whatever you want to change in your life, you gotta bring the habits along with you. Changing your thoughts, and a good way to change your thoughts is by doing this little process, this little step-by-step process, and then your feelings are gonna come along with it. For example, I want to have more patience. You gotta act on it. You can just say, I have patience. I am a patient person. You gotta act on it. You gotta prove to yourself. There's a lot of traffic where I live, like a lot. So going from my house to my mom's house, usually with no traffic, like at 5 in the morning, 10 minutes. But at any other given moment throughout the day, every day, unless it's a Sunday, it takes at least 40 minutes. So the traffic is really intense. It really does give me a big time space to practice my patience. And sometimes I want to get mad. And sometimes I do get mad. Somebody cuts me off and I want to yell many things. and show them my finger and honk. And sometimes I do because I lose control, but if I lose control, I quickly get myself back to myself and I'm like, okay, chill, girl, relax, breathe, it's fine. I'm patient. And that's how I do it. And I keep practicing. And by keep practicing and keep changing the dialogue, slowly I change. And then going to dreams. I feel like this is starting to get really long, but the dream and the science and pseudoscience is going to be quick, so I'll just go for it. I think it's going to be really cool to talk about this because in the past when I talked about dreams and how we have the alpha, theta, delta brainwaves and how our beliefs that we acquired as kids come along during our dreams because we are working in the same brainwaves that we used to as we were younger. So we are most susceptible. We change the most our neural pathways, our neurology, if I can say that. I'm just an intro neuroscience. So anyway, the most change happens from when we were born to 25. That's easy change. Our neuroplasticity is at its highest. So till 25, it's super easy for us to pick up something new. So pick up a new language, pick up a new interest, a new hobby, a new sport. It's easy. It's easy for us to learn because our neurons are just creating new neural pathways and our neuroplasticity is at its peak. So everything goes like boom, 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 fast. After 25, it slows down exponentially. So for us to learn a new language without having an accent, for example, it's going to be hard. It's going to be really challenging. So, of course, this is not to discourage anybody because we can and we do always change. But till 25 is the highest neuroplasticity for us to acquire new skills. And also new beliefs. So it's when we're most kind of open to believing, to creating beliefs and creating dialogues with ourselves. And kind of after that, we just repeat whatever, if we're not conscious of it, of course, we just repeat everything that we learned from 25 under. And I want to bring along a very personal dream to showcase that point exactly. Since I started taking the Harvard X class, I started feeling more confident and really confronting my old beliefs of not being intelligent, and not being intelligent enough to learn certain topics. Just being more of the creative person, creative mind. And so, a couple of days ago, I was dreaming that I was in this place with a couple of people, and these people are people that I actually know in real life, and they have gone to Harvard. They're my age, and they have gone to Harvard, they have gone to MIT, and all of these schools, these Ivy Leagues and crazy schools, and in the dream, I was talking to them about a topic. They were talking actually. And then I went to contribute to what I knew about the topic. And they kind of went silent. And it was like this awkward pause in the air. And then one of them turned to me and he was like, "Hey Val, you're not equipped for going to Harvard. You don't actually have the profile of a person that goes to these kinds of institutions. And I don't think you're capable of the kind of studies that they do, the kind of programs that they do, and what they require you to do." And I don't even know what happened. I think I was probably lucid dreaming, because at the moment that happened in the dream, I kept dreaming, but I don't remember anything else, because as soon as that happened, I was like, oh my God, what the fuck? Look at the beliefs that I have about myself showing up in my dream as somebody else. While I'm trying to change this belief, this comes along like boom, you know? And it was so crazy. And then as soon as I woke up, I went to meet my dad and I told him, and I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. I was just talking about this. I was just talking about how we act from everything that we learned before, belief-wise. And here's my belief telling me in my dreams, you're not good enough to study hard. You're not smart enough to study hard, to learn hard things, and to be worthy of these institutions. So that was amazing, because it brought to light all of this that I'm talking about. Everything that I've been talking about, both on this episode and the past episode, which it's so lovely to me and so amazing to me that I'm talking about these things and they're actually happening in real life. And to be honest, I'm glad that I had that dream, because I feel like beforehand, if the dream happened in a certain way, it wasn't as explicit as this one. This one was right on the nail, like, hey, you're not smart enough. So it's oh, and there's another thing that a lot of people have been talking about, and a lot of studies on these topics talk about, that is, the closer you are to change, the highest probability of you, like your fears and your old beliefs talking louder, come about. Because it's kind of like an ego death. And now I guess I'm going more into the spiritual side of things, which I also wanted to bring. Okay. Continuing, my phone died. I'll be really quick because I think I have maybe like 4% battery, and I'm connected to my little microphone, which I think I'll hold it like this because I heard the audio a little bit and it didn't sound so good. It sounded too much, like there's too much echo going on. But anyway, so the spiritual side of it, there's a lot of people. There's no scientific study on this that I came about. If I find some, I'll bring it out here. But yeah. So there's a lot of spiritual people that I really enjoy to listen to and to read information from. And they all say that when we're the closest to killing off our old beliefs, our old self, our ego, it's when it fights the hardest to maintain itself. And that's why I think that dream was so amazing, because it came like such a punch and so straightforward and so clear that it kind of just makes me feel like I'm going on the right track, like everything I'm doing is actually making a change. And which brings me to the last point, which is pseudoscience versus actual science. I'm a highly spiritual person, but I do love science. So combining both of them together, it's the chef's kiss for me. I don't know why I did that, but it truly is, because I like how science explains certain things that happen, but that we don't know how to explain. And the cool thing is, because the brain is so vast and so unknown, I don't think we know even a micro part of what the brain is actually capable of. And so whenever we come about new discoveries that prove to us things that actually happen truly and actually work, I just think it's amazing. And of course, when it gives, look, we have this step by step. This is what you should do. This is what works. This is how it works. This is why it works. And I really love that. But I'm a highly spiritual person also. I'm rushing this so my phone doesn't die again. And I just wanted to say, like, I love getting information from both, but always take everything with a grain of salt, because there's a lot of spiritual influencers, spiritual people, or not even spiritual influencers, but people out there that are spreading information that are not quite useful. And then I think they kind of put responsibility or put hope and take away that hope on people that don't go and do the search further and just kind of believe whatever anybody says, and it doesn't work, and then they're like hopeless again. And so yeah. And then I also don't really, I don't know, yeah, I'll stop at that. I love you guys. Thank you for listening to this. If you listened all the way here, it's been a long message, and I hope you like it. I hope it wasn't too long and kind of still. I'm still learning how to talk here in this format, in this whole thing. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.